As we enter the fall, it's a good idea to visit your small fruit garden and clean up your blackberry and raspberry plants by removing the dying, spent canes that produced fruit this season. Now, if you remember, the life cycle of these brambles is very interesting. Each cane on the plant, or each stem, has a 2-year life cycle. The first year, they grow vegetatively, producing foliage and growing in length. And then the second year, these canes will produce fruit. Now, if you recall, in the summer, we came through and tipped the first year canes. We cut the growing end of them about chest height or so, and that encouraged the plant to produce some lateral shoots along the stem. This is where our fruit crop will be produced next year. During the winter, we'll come in and trim these lateral branches back a little bit, which will concentrate all the fruit production in a smaller area, and it'll result in larger fruits and higher quality fruits. We'll wait until about February to do that. But today I want to focus on the second year canes, the ones that had produced fruit this season and are starting to die or have already died back in the garden. And I use a training system that helps me keep my first year canes and my second year canes separate. So as the new canes grow, when I come in and do this tipping, I tie them all to one side of the trellis. So these are all first year canes. And then on the opposite side, I had my second year canes tied. I did this last season. And for me, this makes pruning very easy because I come in and I know exactly which canes I want to remove at the end of the season. Another way we can distinguish the canes is by looking for this woodiness. The second year canes start to produce a little bit of a woody bark on the outside of the stems, and if you contrast that to a first year stem, it's much smoother. Often it has a waxy glaucous covering on it as well. So I'm going to follow these woody stems back to the ground and prune those out. And we want to prune as low as possible near the cane, and I'm trying not to damage the good cane next to it. So I want to cut these canes out. I only have about 3 second year canes on this plant. And sometimes they have a new shoot growing off of those, but it's okay to go in and remove that all the way to the ground. For some of our larger stems like this one, you might need a pair of loppers to get the leverage necessary for cutting that stem. Now, blackberries and raspberries can harbor disease, and so in the fall when we cut this off, we want to be sure that we remove it from the garden so that we're not leaving any opportunity for disease organisms to stay placed. And we want to destroy this, not put it in our compost pile. With our blackberry plants, the process is the same as our raspberries. You can see the old woody canes and the greener first year canes. And so we're going to do the same thing, come in and cut these canes back. And I'm cutting these to ground level, hook in there. And we can see, once we clean out those brown dead canes, we could see the green ones that are going to be next year's crop. Sometimes the plant has produced many canes, and we want to thin those back so that we leave about 5 or 6 of the healthiest canes for next year's crop. Well, our first task of next season is going to be to come in and prune back these lateral branches as we prepare the plant for next season's crop. Pruning these back is going to encourage really high quality, abundant fruiting.